I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed your Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D, and this is AJ. I didn't come up with anything clever. We're coming at you with Season 8, Episode 9, Silver and Gold, Tunnel Snakes Rule. AJ's talking us through a chilling Cold War spy thriller, so strap the fuck in and find us on Instagram and Patreon at pointsopressure.com. Let's get to it, bitch!
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
The intros just get better when it sounds like you're trying to push out a shit.
Yeah, when I'm trying to come.
Yeah, or either one.
You're
trying to come without touching it.
9-hour goon session in this room before we started recording. So
we're
I'm
super
ready,
sensitive.
ready to blast. Yeah. And nothing gets me closer to blasting like a new chairperson on Patreon.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I blasted.
Yeah, I did. But because of a new chairperson, that means that we have 4 chair people to our 2-host LLC setup, which means currently, as it all stands, we are being outvoted if the shares fall the way they were set up before. Previously, you had half a share if you were chairperson in decisions. That means it would be 2 to 2, board members to hosts, if they had half a share. So, in a stunning twist of events, we recently changed the chairperson or the chairperson and board vote to only having 1/3 of a share. We're not changing how much money you pay every month. You'll still pay the same amount. We still outvote you, just so you guys know.
Just so you know.
Yeah. But huge shout out to Grover. Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
we
thanks.
really do appreciate you supporting us. For those of you who aren't on our Patreon, check us out, patreon.com/pointsopressure. You get an exclusive episode every month that comes out late every month. You get AJ's incredible series called Voices that doesn't come out late. And then a bunch of really bad sloppy seconds episodes where I admit to federal crimes. So check us out on there. And if you can't afford it, then we have a free tier. You get some shit. You're poor, so we're not going to tell you what you get, but you get some stuff.
Yeah, you can go check it out for yourself.
Yeah. You don't get a vote in the board. Sorry.
Yeah.
And check out our Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah. The last post, the video post.
Dude, that fucking...
It's gotten a couple thousand views. Yeah. It looks good. Dude, she worked so hard on that because there was a fucking auto caption function. But then it was like, after doing it, you have to be a premium member to use this, so you can't export this video.
Did she caption the whole thing?
She fucking, before disabling it, copied and pasted the captions over manually. That she already had to manually go in and edit and add and do all this stuff.
But just snagged what
But then she just copied and pasted it onto just a regular text thing. So she worked her ass off on that.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Suck our dicks.
But it worked, and it looks good. The captions are really funny. Man, what a funny fucking video about Soybean Jesus.
Those edits, they're
so good.
The interviews,
the ice cream guy.
Yeah, the ice cream dude is hilarious.
I don't know about it, but it makes me feel things.
Yeah, dude. It
was good.
The most Ohio 80s shit I've ever seen in my life. That's what the 80s really was. When everyone's like, oh, it was neon and cocaine. It was like, no, it was that video. It's like a perfect representation.
That's the 97% of the 80s right there.
And then in downtown New York City was the colors.
Yeah, and the neon and the cyberpunk homage. Yeah.
Shit. Well, welcome back. How was your week?
Oh, pretty good. I streamed a couple of times, which was nice.
Yeah,
thought I'd have to get called in today.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. Thank goodness.
Fuck yeah.
Ugh. But, yeah, good. Things going good.
Hell yeah.
Under, and then the underscore symbol, AJ, if you're curious.
Underage.
Under... And then the underscore symbol, and then AJ on Twitch.
I'm gonna take full credit for that username.
Yeah, that is.
We were driving home one day, and you were like, "I want to change it. I don't really like the one that I have." And I was like, "Why not just do under AJ?" And you were like, "Oh fuck!" And
yeah, it's so good.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, if
check
you're
it out.
curious, if you want to.
Yeah. Go help a homie out. Help him hit affiliate because it's fun as shit as soon as you do.
Yeah. That's when the TTS starts. And,
Yeah.
and
I
all
got
that
my
shit.
D-Minion thing uploaded.
Fuck yeah.
It's on my intro screen now. I just haven't streamed since.
So gross. Like, I already have
It's
a couple
so
emotes
cringy.
ready.
I fucking hate it.
Perfect.
But it's fun.
Good. All right. Yeah. How's your week?
Pretty standard.
Hoping to get laid off soon.
Yeah. Layoffs. When you guys are listening to this, I might not have a job anymore. So support us on Patreon,
So yeah,
please.
go to Patreon and go to Dummy Plump on Twitch, please. Man, how? Imagine you get laid off. You get 3 months severance. You stream the shit out of those 3 months, and you never have to work a desk job again.
And I become the new.
You become
Pestily.
the new Hassan.
Yeah.
Oh,
God,
Pestily.
no! Oh God, I become the new H3 Ethan.
No,
from H3?
you become the new Asmongold for sure.
Oh.
You're more on the right.
Yo, hell yeah, man! You see, I know that
Yes,
this has
100%.
Yeah, okay, you knew.
Yeah, I know
you
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. If hey, if you guys want to check out a really good stream, go look at my boy Asmongold, and then kill yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dummy Plump on Twitch. Definitely do it because he might be homeless. Not homeless. I'm not.
What?
I'm not kicking
What?
him out. I'm not kicking him out. He might be homeless soon.
God, this is nothing but bad news today.
I might burn this goddamn house to the
God
ground.
damn. Just the basement.
Yeah, just the basement. That might be burned to the fucking ground soon. So support him on Twitch
Oh God, dude.
and on Patreon to
Yeah. Send me all of your remote work jobs.
Yeah. Vet some Indeed links.
Yeah. You guys ever
But,
have
yeah.
any recommendations for movies, TV shows, remote
Remote work
positions that
jobs.
would accept fucking deadbeat? By all means, reach out.
Please. Yeah. So, absolutely, though, go follow him on Twitch. He's had some of the most fun streams that I've watched.
man.
And
It's
they
been a
do,
good time.
like, I don't watch a lot of streamers, but I watch some big ones.
Yeah. Well, that's because
I
I
watched
have
some
you at
mid ones.
gunpoint.
No, I have more fun in those.
50 cal sniper that I know you're sitting at your desk, and I'm like, if I pull
See,
this
I'm
trigger,
always aiming my
it's gonna
shotgun
shoot
straight down.
straight up through your butthole, through your head.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It would be like
for
a sniper.
millisecond.
Yeah, it'll be like a sniper elite shot where it goes in slow motion, explodes my balls, and then
It
exits
goes
the top of my
straight
head.
through your entire spine. So
Yeah.
both of us are being held hostage in this situation.
Exactly. And I've got a gun just pointed straight down at
you know, I always got that thing on me.
Yeah, pointed straight up. Yeah.
But yeah, it's will be an interesting week. We'll see.
It certainly will.
Next week's intro might open with me crying and
GoFundMe
giving the
account.
intro. Yeah, it's my episode today. Yeah,
It took me 4 days
It'll
to
just
do this.
start off with the sound of a rope getting tightened really
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, the twang of a rope tightening and a drawbridge opening.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting week, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right, I think we covered all our bases.
Jesus, yeah,
We speed ran the bingo card, the pressure points bingo card. Suicide joke, D losing his job joke, attempting to shoot each other joke.
and fucking the board over. So
Yeah, and fucking over the board. So
yeah, 10
we're
out
set.
of 10. We're well
Hey,
on our way.
we can just lean back, put our feet up for the rest of this episode. We've got no more quotas.
Content makes itself, bitch.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
So, all right, let's get started. Let's see. In 2260s, Butch DeLoria,
Oh,
Wally Mack, and Paul Hansen Jr. joined together, and they're part of a small kind of small community.
of like the men with the most fuckable names club.
I mean, it really,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
If you told me this was an American Psycho, what the fuck? An American Psycho like group of
team.
dudes,
Yeah.
I'd
They were
totally
all
believe it.
They all worked for Goldman Sachs in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
100%.
What was it? Butch D'Onofrio?
DeLoria,
Oh my god.
Wally
dude.
Mack,
I'd
and
suck
Paul
his dick.
Hansen Jr.
God damn.
Ooh, they wear Italian leather.
Jesus Christ. They're all either really fucking sly businessmen or they run like the shittiest Mazda dealership with slick back hair.
Well, they're teenagers right now, so right now they're smoking cigarettes on the street outside of the Mazda dealership.
Cat calling older like MILFs that walk past.
MILFs who come from money.
Yeah. Hell
wear
yeah,
mink.
Wally. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. So they join together, and they're like, we should form a gang. We're part of this small kind of xenophobic community. It's a little xenophobic. It's a little shut off from the outside world.
Okay, never mind. Not hell yeah.
And they join together, and they want to form a gang.
They all start wearing white T-shirts. They all
white T-shirts, leather jackets.
Yeah, they all dye their hair jet black.
Yeah, they all have black hair and pompadours. Actually,
tuck their white T-shirts into their pants.
Their
and
jeans,
they all get switch
their jeans.
blades.
They get the big like
bottom
fold
cuff.
up. You know, you're 100%. I'm not shitting you. That's what they wore.
Fuck yeah, dude. And then you got to have the switchblades.
Yeah, they definitely had switchblades. I'm sure of that. And
they all held them like this. They all held them like
like forward.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like a lady holds a fucking fan in the in the 80s,
like an Italian,
in the 1880s,
gesticulating.
Yeah, that's how they hold their fucking switchblades.
Yeah, and they get together. They finally settle on, after months probably of work. They come up with the name, the Tunnel Snakes.
Oh,
they get a custom leather jacket.
This is a fucking Bob's Burgers episode.
Oh.
Fucking trouser snakes.
The trouser snake. That is a fucking the one-eyed snakes. They're called the one-eyed snakes.
The one-eyed snakes. That's what it is.
Which is so good.
Dude.
What a good gang name. Now they're the Tunnel Snakes, and they get their leather jackets customized. There's like a green snake on them, and it's awesome. Eventually, they get manipulated by the ruling class, by the overseer, to intimidate dissenting residents when, they're kind of going against the grain. Because I said small community.
Come after union workers.
Pretty much, yeah. Anytime anybody kind of raises a hustle where it would look bad if they actually sent in, like, the cops, these guys would be kind of manipulated into going and doing the intimidation for the government.
Wait a minute. The cops might agree with the people that are protesting our bad work conditions.
Let's get the teens who don't know any better.
Let's get those 19-year-olds that they just want to stab and fuck all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And that's the backstory to the Tunnel Snakes from Fallout 3.
The Tunnel Snakes.
Now we can get into just like the episode.
Huh.
I just wanted to share that. Fallout 3, the Vault 101 gang, the Tunnel Snakes.
Interesting.
Tunnel Snakes rule. And then when you're escaping the vault in the game, spoilers, it's in the intro of the game, so it's not. You can choose to save Butch Deloria's mom or let her get destroyed by rad roaches.
Jesus.
And I watched her die, and then he like cries.
Eaten by rat roaches.
Second playthrough, you save her.
Why?
First playthrough, I actually killed the rad roaches and then baseball batted her to death.
Fuck yeah. 10 out of 10.
Fallout's a great game. Go play it. All right.
Shame if there were any Fallout. Fallout New Vegas.
It'd be a shame if this caused any fallout between us. Fallout New Vegas. So I actually have... Okay, I swear, I'm not trying to advertise my stream. This is just something that I needed to tell Dee about, and it just so happens that it popped into my head while we're recording. I have a Fallout meme review planned at some point.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Because, man, it's like Fallout New Vegas memes are basically the most pro-trans, pro-body identity game on the planet. And I don't know why the memes went this way, but I kind of understand it because the whole game is about self-determination.
Oh, okay.
But just want to throw that out there. They're also half-baked, and half of them are super cringy. The other half are like anti-jokes. Fantastic.
Perfect.
And then the other half, somehow the third half, are so deep that if you haven't played the game for 200 hours, it makes zero sense. So I love it.
So it's like all of your comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I love it. It's perfect. So Operation Silver happened in 1949. No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
It's Operation Silver and Operation Gold.
Yep.
Oh,
they're two separate operations, and it's really lame naming conventions.
Damn.
Like Operation Silver just got that name randomly. Operation Gold got it
because
of Operation Silver. So there's really no meaning behind them.
Christ.
But Operation Silver started in 1949 when British MI6 got together. And to give you some background of this time period, as we know, basically right at the end of, well, as we know, as you know, the people on the inside who listen to this podcast know, that the Cold War began before World War II even ended. Mm-hmm. America was already competing with the Soviets. Most of the allies were already competing against the Soviets, trying to get the upper hand because they knew there would be some kind of conflict afterwards.
A little bit of a power sink.
Yeah, there would 100% be something like that. So post-war Germany, post-World War II Germany, was a complete mess. We've talked about that a couple of times.
I'd imagine.
Horrible, it was so bombed during the war, during the last couple of months of the war. It was just completely decimated. Go watch Masters of the Air. It's on Apple TV, so don't buy Apple TV. Just pirate it.
Yeah.
But they do the bombing of Germany really, really well. It was originally set that each of the big four Allied nations would each have an occupied zone within Germany.
Okay.
So the UK, France, America, and the Soviets. So they would split up the entire country, and then they would also split up Berlin, even though it was in the Soviet occupation zone. They would split up that city itself.
Cut her in half.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is, that could never go wrong. So with this setup in Berlin, the Soviets could control all the traffic going in and out, but not the air traffic. So when tensions would come up, people were worried that the Soviets would cut off West Berlin from West Germany, since they weren't actually touching. And the Soviets did do that once.
Jesus.
A little pissy comeback or something.
Yeah. Or
pissed off at the other allies. And this led to the Great Berlin Airlift, which was seen as a very heroic and big kind of operation where the Allies just airdropped thousands and thousands of tons of supplies to the civilians of West Berlin, basically saying no, those East Berliners can starve. I don't care. We're still gonna make the people in West Berlin, even cut off directly from any land routes,
basically just
better fed.
Fucking glitter bombed the Soviet Union.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're like, get fucked.
Yeah, because they couldn't stop the airplanes. There was no way they could control.
Just build a dome.
Yeah, put a dome over Berlin. Let's see. So in 1948, basically the cooperation between the Soviets and the rest of the Allies hit the breaking point, because the Allies introduced. They were scheming to make West Germany its own state, independent of the Soviets, and work together on that, so it wasn't split up among three countries. It was just one, which they ended up doing, West Berlin, or West Germany. And then they also introduced and developed the Deutschmark, which just shut down how the Soviets were profiting on, the black market and all this stuff. So it kind of economically kneecapped the Soviets by introducing the Deutschmark.
Nice little currency change.
Yeah, really to just fuck someone up. Let's see. So, and the Soviets recently switched from radio communications to landline phone communications.
Hell yeah.
Because the radios, anybody can tap into a radio wave. Anybody with a receiver can hear that. It would be encrypted, but they would still be, you could crack the encryption. They would still be getting that level of communication. Having the landline made it so that you had to physically access those wires, which are in the Soviet territory.
Harder to access. Yeah, listen in, just on the off chance you'd get the right radio signal. Instead, it's fucking hardwired. That's crazy.
Let's see. So that kind of made the British we gotta get better intel. We gotta do something, because we used to be able to at least get the encrypted communications, break them down eventually, and then figure it out. Now we're not even getting the encrypted shit.
Yeah, we can't even crack their code.
Yeah, and over the phone, it was expected that people were less likely to always use encrypted language. Because, when you have a radio operator and they get given an intelligence report that says, say this.
Yeah.
Okay, they read it off. With a phone, anybody can pick up a phone.
Yeah.
It's
way easier.
Way easier to kind of communicate in that way.
Just don't dial the wrong number.
Yeah, it's that easy. Let's see. So they made this plan because in Vienna, in occupied Austria, it wasn't split up in the same way. So they, all the different militaries and stuff kind of had different headquarters throughout Vienna. And Major John Edward Wyke, Peter Lunn, and Peter... what did we say his name was?
Montanen?
Montanen? Something like that. Montagnan.
Yeah. Montaganan. I don't fucking
know.
Yeah. Montagaman.
Yeah. They were the main people involved, the main agents involved in this. And, why mess with success? They just decided to dig a tunnel. Major Wyke's Austrian villa was pretty close to the Red Army headquarters in Vienna, and they just started digging tunnels. The longest one was 21 meters or 70 feet long.
Jesus.
And it split off into a bunch. The shortest one was about 6 feet long. So all they had to do was dig in the basement until they found the phone lines and then dig up.
Jesus Christ. You'll recognize the reference. A lot of people may not, but this is it sounds like a fucking Z-Chum video.
Yeah,
what they're doing.
Absolutely. It feels like Z-Chum and Omid and Kaylee and Josh Creed are just scheming 100%. And it was successful enough that they needed a monitoring station kind of above the ground, something to get the information and ship it off to the UK.
Oh, okay.
So they did the most British thing possible. They set up
carrier pigeons,
a tweed clothing shop.
Oh, fucking God,
They
dude.
set up a store for tweed clothing.
They didn't even try to cover that they were British.
No, not at all. And it reminds me of, the Kingsman.
Yeah.
Where they had, the suit store. It's exactly that. But the tweed clothing was actually super profitable and successful.
Oh, my God.
Which is really funny. And the KGB didn't figure out about Operation Silver, let's see, until 1953.
Jesus.
They only found out about it because of a British double agent named George Blake.
Oh.
And he leaked it to him. It officially didn't even end, even though it was discovered. It didn't end until 1955 when Austria kind of gained their sovereignty back.
That does sound like a double agent name, though.
Oh yeah,
you would never actually meet George Blake in Britain. You would only meet him there if he was like, "I'm from Britain," and you're like, "I don't believe you sound." Yeah, you sound like a Russian man with a British accent. And he's like, "I'm George Blake." You're like, "No, you're not. I know you're not. What's your real fucking name?"
No, he was a double agent, so he was a British man who
was working
with the Soviets.
Okay, regardless.
No, a double agent.
Yeah, so he would have been a Soviet spy
working for the British.
Yeah,
but secretly working for the Soviets. Okay, there we go. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Yeah. Oh, this is the fucking disabled FDR all over.
Oh my God, you're right. Fuck. Let's see. Yeah, so that operation was super successful. In early 1951,
British made some money too.
Oh yeah, and they made some money. The tweed shares went up globally.
Market was cooking.
It was popping. So in early 1951, when this operation was going on, the CIA was also trying to figure out a way to regain that lost intelligence source.
Okay.
They were a little behind the times. Mm-hmm. They weren't as quick to respond as the British, who immediately started tapping phone lines.
Yeah.
But they made this whole report of a bunch of different ideas of how we were going to, figure out what the Soviets were talking about.
Okay.
And they were working with MI6. They kind of published a report to them, brought them in on it, and the British were like, "Hold on, I see you got tapping phone lines on here. Wait till you get a load of this. We've been doing this since 1949. We've been doing this for, 2 years, so... let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's get something going in Berlin that's similar to Operation Silver." And the CIA was pretty excited. They were called the BOB when they were operating in Berlin. I don't even remember what it stands for. I don't know why I brought that up. Huh. But it was the CIA. It is
goofy, though. They would be the BOB.
It was like the Berlin something. Fuck.
Berlin Old Boys.
Yeah, the old boys are Berlin. And so CIA agent Bill Harvey was assigned to Berlin, where a guy named Reinhard Gehlen the head of the West German kind of intelligence agency, informed him, there just so happened to be a crucial telephone junction box about 2 meters under the ground near the border of West Berlin. It's on the east side, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's real close, and it's buried. And the CIA didn't tell anybody that they were trying to tap phone lines and stuff. It was just like, hey, we noticed this thing. This might have some, intelligence worth.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if they involved the British had already been exposed as having double agents at this point. So it's like...
No, George Blake hadn't been caught yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Yeah, not yet. Blake doesn't get caught for much
by the
longer.
same token, they're probably thinking that same thing. We don't know how secure MI6 is doing their shit, so let's just keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, they kept it very close.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, and they didn't even want to tell the West German government or intelligence agencies because they just knew it was very corrupt. It was very... There were a lot of moles in the West German government.
Yeah. I mean...
Because it was easy.
Post-war shit. Like, of course it's going to be crazy with all that, especially where you just had the Soviets more or less fuck everybody over in the end anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll keep this to ourselves for the time being.
Yeah, so Bill Harvey was like, that's very interesting. I've got this homie with the SIS, the Secret Intelligence Agency, basically MI6, who can tap phone lines. Like, this is obviously our target. This has to be our target. Let's see. And then I lost my spot. All right, here we go. So they start planning, they start scheming in the way the CIA does and the way the MI6 does. And they have to kind of, as I said, they have to keep it away from the West German government itself.
Yeah.
Which they're on the border of East and West Berlin. This is like the most heavily patrolled border on the planet right now. Yeah. So the idea is the U.S. would pay for the tunnel, they would dig the tunnel, and then the British would do the phone tapping and monitoring because they've been doing it so successfully. They have the specialists.
Yeah.
They started setting up these meetings. They started moving stuff around. And you know that George Blake fella? Mm-hmm. He happened to be at a lot of the early meetings for this.
Of course he was.
So basically, immediately after each meeting, he would just contact his KGB handler and say, "Hey, they're digging a tunnel right here.
Hey,
it's gonna be here.
Only use this phone line for communication that's just incorrect or completely non-useful."
Yeah, that's the go-to is that they now have this source where they could feed them. They could feed the Americans anything they want them to.
Give them a couple red herrings.
Yeah, there's plenty of times throughout this kind of Cold War espionage where that has happened to both sides, where they realize there's a plant, there's a mole, there's a bug. Okay, let's feed them the wrong information just to fuck with them. Like that's just espionage 101.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because the Soviets, specifically the KGB, did not want their double agent, George Blake, to be exposed at all. Which I'm looking up where he was born.
Well, I mean, God, look at how fucking deep in everything he is. Like, he's so far in that he's getting in on these projects that are so underground. Like,
he was born in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. What a piece of shit. Fuck you. The Holland Soviet British double agent. Jesus. But yeah, it's like this guy he's in the prime position for them.
He's a trusted
about
MI6 agent, basically.
Yeah, he knows what they're trying to do in West Berlin.
Yeah,
it's like
huge.
Keep him on payroll for sure. Keep that guy happy.
Yeah, so the KGB were like, ooh, we don't know if we should tell anybody that we know about this tunnel because there's only like 3 or 4 people who know about this entire operation.
Yeah.
Total.
And it would immediately
be linked back.
Yeah, all 4 people going on the chopping block, and he's bound to get caught.
Yeah, exactly. So they were like, we're not going to tell anybody that we know about this.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. They didn't tell anybody in East Berlin about the wiretap, about this plan or anything. So no fake information was leaked as far as we know and as far as been able to be identified. They missed an opportunity, I think.
They really did, yeah.
But despite this operation being compromised from the planning stage, it was actually largely successful for intelligence gathering. So by December 1953, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, they built a tunnel in New Mexico as a tester.
Yeah.
Just to see if they could do it quietly. It was pretty successful, and they start building the tunnel under the CIA agent. Let's see, it's another Harvey. Is it the same? No, yeah, it is. It's just in one under Bill Harvey. In one article, they called him Bill Harvey. In the other one, they called him William King Harvey.
Oh, well, I mean,
it's the same guy. Yeah,
I'll be honest. There is a good chance it was a different guy. This is
yeah, right.
Like
everybody
the
was
middle
named
century. Yeah, everyone was Bill, Bob, Robert, and George.
So apparently, Bill Harvey was kind of like he was a former FBI agent who turned CIA agent and was basically known for how much he could drink before lunch.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Burning alcoholic, and he was very much a James Bond, like, I'm going to carry this gun on me at all times, at a time when
no one was.
They really weren't doing that.
Jesus Christ. It's
and
like a Wild West James Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
He recruited a couple double agents on the East Berlin side.
Okay.
One codenamed Sniper, which is really cool.
Hell yeah.
And they were kind of trying to just keep an eye on the Soviet communications to see if anything was up, to see if there's any, like, oh, hey, make sure it doesn't go out on that line specifically kind of thing.
Can you imagine joining one of those groups and they're like, your codename Sniper, your codename Ace, and your codename Orange.
Perfect.
You're like, wait, what? What the fuck?
Not Eagle Hawk?
Yeah, you just look down, you're wearing an orange shirt, and you're like, God damn it.
Fuck.
I don't have any specialties, do I?
I'm the fall guy.
Yeah. I'm the guy they're going to kill. Fuck.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so besides bringing in the British, Operation Gold, because of Harvey, was super compartmentalized. Best thing they could have done. Basically, Alan Dulles, who we've talked about plenty of times, head of the CIA, he knew about it.
Yeah, well-known piece of shit.
Yeah, well-known piece of shit. Nobody in the FBI knew about it because it wasn't in their jurisdiction. The second in command of the CIA didn't know about this. It was basically just those two guys and, like, one or two other people, and then whoever the British had let in. Like, it was such a small, compartmentalized thing. And not even the West Germans knew about the tunnel until much, much, much later. So they started this whole operation by building a warehouse with an Air Force radar on top. The East, basically the Soviets, they looked over the wall, or not the wall. It wasn't a wall yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The divider.
Looks across the street.
The fence.
Yeah.
The barbed wire.
Yeah.
And they see a warehouse with a Navy radar on top, or Air Force radar on top. And they say, yeah, that makes sense. They're putting these up everywhere to keep an eye on us. So are we. Yeah. So it was really normal. It was basically like seeing a McDonald's be put in.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, who gives a shit?
Yeah. A McDonald's with a tunnel underground to tap into phone lines. Totally standard.
Totally standard.
Honestly.
They do one alteration on this warehouse, and they make a 23-foot deep basement. Basically an open basement that happens to have the walls about 23 feet deep.
Jesus.
Because the biggest issue when you're digging a tunnel
is you run out of space for the dirt.
You run out of space for the dirt.
Yeah.
So you can't, like, the Great Escape It, where you hide it in your pant leg and, put it in your garden.
Yeah, God. Especially when you're trying to tunnel, like, how far were they trying to go?
Oh, fuck. I looked at the computer.
Oh, you were like, it's not moving.
Like, oh, no.
We're not recording.
I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've actually got it. 450 meters.
Oh, yeah. You're not
1,476 feet.
Not going to be able to trickle that out of your pants.
Yeah, no. So they made the basement. They did the math. Some nerd did the math. It was like, we can backfill this basement with all that dirt.
This was Secret Agent Orange.
Yeah,
orange
shirt.
Yeah, orange shirt. He was the guy that did the math.
Yeah, they said, you can have a gun, but you can't put bullets in it. You have to keep them in your shirt.
It's a Nerf gun.
Yeah,
that they spray painted.
Yeah, it's one of those blue, like, paint guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they start digging the tunnel in September 1954. They're done February 1955. As I said, 1,476 feet long.
Jesus.
And it goes directly under the most heavily guarded border to reach some cables that are only 19 inches deep underground.
Oh my, you got to be so fucking quiet. I bet for the first half, because they probably were like level with the ground, the 23 feet under. And then they're like, we'll just like slowly angle up to where we need to get. Or did
No,
they go
they kept
straight?
it straight and then dug a vertical shaft.
Straight up.
So this was
Those
done.
last couple, they're just using like trowels.
Oh, yeah.
Like the last month.
You can't use a
was
machine.
Them, yeah, the last month was them digging up. And they're just like quietly.
Yeah.
Nobody
There's somebody,
breathe.
they hear somebody through the dirt. They're like, did you just hear what sounded like a metal spoon scraping some sand?
Was that a Russian sneeze or an English sneeze?
Yeah.
None of us sneeze.
Nobody
It was
sneezed.
a Russian one. God.
Yeah,
dude.
they're whispering, leave your wife.
Yeah. God.
Let's see. So yeah, they also during the digging, because the vertical shaft or the horizontal shaft was really easy, they could use a machine to do it. And basically, as they would dig out a couple of feet, and then they would put these big cast iron metal plates up, and then they would put behind it sand.
Oh, okay.
To kind of fill the empty space.
Yeah.
They'd brace it on itself. And then they would do a couple feet, and doing that. They hit an undocumented cesspool, which flooded the tunnel for a little bit, which was very likely a septic tank.
Yeah.
They would. So that took some time. They had to bring in pumps that were strong enough that you could not have them running in the tunnel because you could hear it.
6 months later, some dude's like, well, we got to empty our septic tank. And someone comes and looks down and they're like looking into the eyes of some dude in the CIA that he's like, just screws the lid back on.
Closes it back up. Like, what's this hatch in the wall? Oh, it was there when we dug it. Let's see. The tunnel ended up costing about $6.5 million to dig and outfit with all the equipment and everything, because they would do the monitoring in the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. And it was completely rigged with explosives, just in case.
Just so that they could blow it all up. And
Yeah, if they really had to, they could blow it all up with
cover
everyone
their
inside.
tracks.
Let's see. But they kept running, for that vertical shaft, they kept running into the Minecraft issue when you're trying to dig up. Where if you hit a spot of sand or gravel, it'll fall.
Yeah.
It'll fall, and it'll keep falling. And then suddenly
Yeah,
there's a
that's
hole on
true.
the surface. You know, they don't want there to be a big sinkhole
Yeah,
around a phone line.
The Soviets are walking and they're just like normal, thump, 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 thump.
Yeah, it's just hollow.
They're like, what the fuck?
No, it's three of them walking down the road, and the one on the left gets a little shorter,
Yeah,
and then
one
comes
just
back
falls
up.
through a sinkhole. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Blow
so-
it all up. Agent Orange. Blow it
Agent
up and
Orange
then kill
now.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
Fuck. You didn't sign your health insurance or your life insurance,
His
so your
gun-
family's getting nothing.
His gun is still fake, so he has to like tie a noose and hang himself.
He just buries himself in the
He's
dirt.
like, God damn it.
They cheaped out on everything. The rope
Should have
breaks.
given me a real gun.
So it costs a lot of money, but the tunnel officially ran and gathered intelligence for 11 months and 11 days.
Damn.
And they start listening to a phone line that went directly from East Germany to Moscow.
Ooh, that's a
Huge.
good line.
The West at this time didn't even break the Soviet encryption. It took a while for them to kind of break that encryption.
Damn, dude.
But people kept picking up the phone and having personal conversations.
Yeah.
And then they would just use unencrypted communication on official phone lines. They would just be like, oh, yeah, I got reassigned. I got to go, build this spy plane. Shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
totally
Found out
benign
Helga cheated
shit.
on me. God damn it. You doing
Yeah.
okay, Rod? Yeah. Shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got reassigned to go to build this umbrella ricin gun. Like,
They're like, next. We don't want information like that.
we already know about that. We built that. Let's see. In total, they got 67,000 hours of communications.
Oh, my God.
that were
dude.
sent back to London to be sifted over. And they hired hundreds of specialists, linguists, stuff like that to kind of go through everything.
I think our wives just came at the same time.
I think they did. That was a really
It was
loud.
yeah. I don't know,
interesting
though,
noise.
because I don't know what it sounds like.
I don't know what that.
when
Well, they
do.
can't. They're women.
Yeah. I don't know what that would ever sound like.
Yeah, I've got no idea. Let's see. At its peak, they could monitor 500 phone connections at once.
Whoa.
And they recorded over 50,000 reels of tape. Like the big reels of tape, not like a tape deck.
Yeah, god damn.
This was a ton. And, because it was so compartmentalized, people within the CIA didn't know where the intel was really coming from. And from MI6, they didn't really know where the intel was coming from. They were just being fed intel.
Yeah.
So they started referring to the place where all this intel was coming from as Harvey's Hole.
Oh, no.
Which is really great.
Oh,
because I'm sure he loved that as he's swirling back his third martini at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm sure he fucking loved... where'd you... Yeah, got that info from Harvey's Hole.
Fucking Wild Bill is like, hey, what's the information on Harvey's Hole? Like, what the fuck are you talking... How many drinks have you had this morning? He's like...
That's really it.
Nothing.
Yeah, not a drop.
Watch me shoot that bottle off the fucking shelf.
Put this bottle on your head.
Yeah. I'll pass that information along to Harvey's Hole and just fucking farts.
Jesus Christ.
Son of a bitch.
It was huge, and then he beats his wife. But it was a huge amount of intel to get this early on in the Cold War. Like, it really gave the Allies the upper hand. And so, there's the KGB, and then we've talked about the Stasi, which is kind of like their secret police. We've briefly mentioned the GRU. These are all just different agencies within the Soviets. Yeah. And much like the Nazi intelligence agencies, they didn't like each other. They were viewed as rivals because the way the government was kind of set up, that if you were doing good and these other agencies were doing bad, they would be punished and you would be rewarded, rather than we're all in this together working on the same fucking thing. Maybe let's work together and do better all together. No,
not
there
how
was
hierarchy
this
works.
competency, or competition, this rivalry. So the KGB totally kept their communications secret from the other intelligence agencies, knowing about this line.
Yeah, waiting for like the time that's going to benefit them, and they can make the other guys look like jackasses.
Fantastic.
Hey, one nation, right?
Yeah, one nation. Perfect. So yeah, a ton of info was leaked from these other intel agencies.
And the KGB is like, let it go.
Well, the KGB were like, hey, on our communications, we use a different phone.
Yeah.
Just write a letter.
They're like, we've already developed cell phones. We'll use those.
Yeah. Nobody else can use them, though.
Make these idiots use landlines. Let their info come out.
So once George Blake was no longer involved with this program at all, reassigned, somehow the East Germans discovered this. See, there was a bunch of rain, and some maintenance workers discovered some wires in the phone line box. Of course they found wires where the phone lines were.
It's like, this one looks newer.
And just so happened the KGB were called, and they discovered this whole operation.
Oh, weird. We found a whole tunnel under it.
Yeah, and at the time, the Americans already kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And they'd bricked up, basically, I think it was at the border, and there was a sign on the outside of the brick that said, now entering American territory, or something like, shitty like that.
Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, it was, don't cross over here. You can't use this tunnel for anything. But yeah, they discovered the tunnel in 1956.
If you're reading this, you're already dead.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it all blows up. And
Agent Orange, blow it up and then kill yourself.
Now. Drown yourself in the cesspit.
He's like, what the fuck?
God damn it. Again? And the Soviets were like, oh, this is perfect opportunity for us to get in the news, to smear the West, to show them, oh, they're doing this stuff. They're doing this illegal stuff, and we're the arbiters of the free world.
Yeah, we would
and
never
they're doing
do
all
that.
this underhanded stuff that we would never do. And it completely backfired on them.
Well, yeah, it makes you look incompetent.
Well, at the same time, the CIA thought that the Soviets would cover up the tunnel because it would make them look incompetent. Yeah. But the Soviets didn't. They were super public about it. They did press pieces and all this stuff. But
idiots.
Of course, many of the news, basically all of the news on the planet was under the Allies.
Yeah.
And they just started saying, like, wow, this tunnel is a marvel of modern engineering. Like, look how daring and courageous the CIA is. They're trying to keep the world safe. Like,
it's funny because it's not even like, you don't even have to have propaganda. Like, maybe I'm falling for the propaganda right now. But if I were to have two sides of the story and I'm neutral on this, I go, yeah, I don't give a fuck on either side. And one side says they were listening to our phone lines, and it's like, well, it was underground. How? And the other side's like, well, we dug a tunnel underground that nobody was able to detect, and it was like 1,500 feet long. And we were 19 inches from the fucking surface, and we still tapped into their phone line. You'd be like, how the fuck did you guys not catch that? You'd be like, you guys are dumb. And then, like, it's just, I think it's so funny that, like, that they're so sneaky, they're so bad and evil, and it's like, no, you're just an idiot. Like, what the fuck were you thinking?
And I don't know, it's kind of obviously in this time period, from the Western perspective, the Soviets were the bad guys.
Yeah.
But even from the Soviet perspective,
you would still...
Why would you point out that you got one ran over on you?
Yeah, you wouldn't say that at all. Like,
they pulled one over on you.
Yeah.
Why would you...
You would just bury it.
Yeah.
That's what...
They should have just... This never happened.
Yeah. And then when the U.S. comes out and says, oh, we did this, you'd be like, no, you didn't. Show us an operation that you intercepted.
Show us, anything.
Yeah.
But so they totally dropped the fucking ball.
Stupid.
Totally dropped the ball.
That's like, oh yeah, somebody punched me in the stomach and I shit my pants. And it's like, what?
Why did you tell me that?
Why are you telling everyone this? And it's just like, well, he hit me really hard. You're like, yeah, but it was hard enough to make you shit your pants. That's fucking cool as shit, dude. You're like, yeah, but that was mean. It's like, no, you look like the idiot.
Stop it. Yeah, I wonder if there's a bit of that. God, I forgot what it's called, but there, that thing where that was ripe in Stalinism, where the people below had to tell the people up high that they were doing good.
Oh yeah.
Where it was like, no, this is a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and it just went all the way up.
Jesus Christ.
And they just deluded themselves to think it would be a good thing. And yeah, it was huge huge piece of propaganda for like America and the British.
Oh, absolutely.
Massive, because it basically was like, we beat them at their own game.
Yeah.
Like, look at what we did. They're so incompetent. They couldn't find
stupid.
us tunneling over the border. Again, the most heavily patrolled border on the planet right now. Fantastic.
Oh, God.
So it turned out not just for the intel, but afterwards, all the optics, net positive for the West, net negative for the Soviets. And in 1961, just as a tying up loose ends, in 1961, George Blake was arrested. Everything came out about his double crossing and all this stuff. He was thrown into a high security prison, escaped, and made his way to Moscow, where he was hailed as a hero.
Wow, what a guy.
And Alan Dulles, the director of the CIA at the time, we've talked about him plenty of times. He came out and was like, yeah, I knew about it. Look how cool we were. Look at all, like, you should fund us more, Congress. Congress, send us more money. Look at us.
Congress is like, you ever fucked with LSD?
Yeah, seriously. But interestingly, it was discovered later when some records got declassified. The NSA at the time was like, they knew about it the whole time. They knew. The NSA knew, suspected that the KGB knew about it the entire time. So all of the intel should have been taken with a grain of salt.
See, in the Soviet response would have been, let's tell everyone that they knew. Like, if the roles were flipped, they would have been like, let's tell them that they knew. Like, the U.S. would never go into that. Or, like, the Allies would never go, oh, yeah, our really cool operation. Let's tell everybody that the KGB actually knew that we were listening in. Like, what do they release? Fucking propaganda headlines and like, hey, that cool operation we did, well, they actually knew about it all along.
Dude.
It's just like, it's so funny.
The Soviets could have totally turned it around by saying, we knew about it the whole time. We've been feeding you false information.
Exactly.
Because even though they weren't feeding them false information, it would at least put that doubt in
exactly.
there.
You would
totally could have.
You would look smarter than them instead of like, they were cheating. Like, what the fuck, dude? Come on.
So fucking weird. Parts of the tunnel have been excavated and are on display. They were excavated during the 90s.
Oh, cool. The septic tank?
Yeah, the septic tank. No, they were excavated and thrown into the Allied Museum in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
So you can go to the part of the original tunnels up there. That's a bucket list museum to go
cool.
to.
I wish I had known about it. We would have definitely gone.
Holy shit, we got to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to internationally travel. And you do, apparently.
That's easy. That's fucking easy. It's not too bad.
So let's plan.
You just have to find a train. You have to get a pass for a train, and that's it.
Perfect. And yeah, this was the first major Cold War covert operation that the CIA would mount. And man, it really emboldened them. They did so much shit during the war, or the Cold War. They just, man.
I mean, shit, dude. If you're able to keep a big-ass tunnel, like, under wraps, for the most part, obviously the KGB was aware.
But they were in a position where they couldn't do shit about it.
They didn't shut down the operation. Like, of course you're going to get funding.
Yeah. 100%.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, so that's the tunnel snakes.
Yeah. I was wondering for a minute. I was like, wait, what did that have to do with it at the start? And then I was like, oh, the tunnel.
Tunnel snakes. They were in a vault. Their gang was in a vault.
I see.
Underground. Yeah. See, it all comes back. Fuck you, Liza.
Yeah. That's the Fallout. New Vegas.
It was Fallout 3, actually, but that's fine.
Whatever. Shut up. God.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, again, thank you to our new chairperson, Grover. But, again, sorry to the rest of the board members. You guys have to blame him for cutting all your shares down. It's his fault. If we would have stayed at 3, you guys would have kept your half votes.
I'm not complaining about not staying
it's not
at 3,
my fault.
though.
Not our fault.
No,
honestly.
We want more. It's better to have more.
Yeah. But then we
diversity.
Yeah.
President Grover.
DEI chair people.
Yeah. I know the gender and ethnicity of 3 of them, and they're all the same. President Grover. Yeah. I assume President Grover. I mean, President of the U.S.
Yeah, we don't really know much about this dude.
So white president, white male,
white, mustached, old. Those are the 3 things I know about you.
I'm judging this based fully on your profile picture and the fact that you are President Grover.
Yeah.
So,
just know now you're.
I could be wrong. We could be wrong. We could be slandering this person.
Now that you're a chairperson, I will accept a mustache ride.
That's a deal. That's a deal of a century.
It's a solid mustache in that picture.
Oh, yeah.
But,
So,
if you guys
Grover, Minnie D, Thomas, and Toddle Waddle.
I was going to say patreon.com/points of pressure for some exclusive shit. I already said it earlier in the episode.
Yeah, you already said it.
Yeah,
that's what threw me off.
Yeah.
They are the board. They want me to let you know that only one of them has been compromised by the KGB. Yeah. I'll let you figure out who. We already know.
All 4.
But we're not going to do anything about it.
And I really hope the audio doesn't cut out when I say this. All 4 great tunnel diggers.
Oh, you're playing with fire on that one. Holy shit. And then, of course, we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Nordic Thunder, Weston, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, and G-Dog. Thank you all so much letting us be here and allowing us to cut some votes down,
Yeah, truly. Thank you. And as always, if you guys ever have any recommendations for jobs, movies, TV shows,
remote
books,
work,
music, remote work, side gigs, pyramid schemes.
As long as D is towards the top.
If you have an in on doTERRA or Mary Kay, by all means, reach out to us.
Cutco.
Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at pointsopressure. Send us an email.
It's not on there.
Oh, shit.
Because we formatted the drive.
It's like,
so,
what the fuck?
Hey, the outro music.
Thank you. Feel free to email us at the letters ppdnaj@gmail.com or go to our website, pointsopressure.com, and send us a fucking voicemail or an email, and we'll catch you guys next Monday.